Guess who's back, 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 back again?
Fall is back, back. Tell a friend.
Oh, yeah. How's it going, everybody? I'm Charboil, and this is...
El Bandito.
And you're watching the Power Hour of Love, baby.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Hello to all you beautiful people out there. We see Courtney Girl in the house. We see Mr. Fusion out there. J-Dog, Life Reboot, Eric G. Thank you all so much for joining us here tonight to talk about a little bit of comic book action, have a little bit of comic book fun, and so much more as we talk about what's going on in your beautiful PoDunk world, man. We have so much exciting news to cover tonight that I just can't wait to get into it. You know how much of a comic book fan I am, Senor Boyle, and I am super psyched.
Oh, you know it, man. I'm so happy to be back. You know, last week there was some illness that kept me from all the Legion of Love and the beautiful people, but I am back. But real quick, I wanted to say a big thank you to Ari last week for filling the Boyle boots.
Absolutely, absolutely. Special thanks to Aur3llia, our Master Moderator, who's still out and about and out till the end of the month. I guess it's July, so we'll see her back this weekend on her exciting, amazing channel down there.
Oh, yeah.
And again, she joined us last week for this outstanding Pride episode that we did. It was really awesome to have her on the show and to help us kind of work our way and navigate through representing the LGBTQ community. And just, it was really awesome to have her here and to be able to just spread some love and some awareness. And we're going to share a couple of clips from that episode later this week on our Twitter and on our Facebook and stuff like that. So keep an eye out for that because it was a pretty awesome episode all the way around. We were sorry that you didn't make it, Senor Bowl, but in your stead, it kind of came together in a nice way still. So.
Well, I'm glad to hear, you know, like we definitely don't want the Power Hour train to stop just because one of the attendees can't make it in, you know, but man, you know, like I said, I had read through the notes and I knew what we were going to talk about, and man, I really hated to miss the episode. You know, it was something that, you know, very late in the day kind of just took over me, and I just wasn't going to be much fun that night if I would have come on out. But luckily enough, you know, I've had a week to recoup, and now I am ready to rock and roll with all you beautiful people out there, and of course, El Bandito.
Absolutely, guys. So again, like we mentioned, it's the beginning of July, so you guys know what that means. It's the wrap-up of Aur3llia's charity campaign for the mini gamers, and I just want to take a minute to say a huge thank you to all you beautiful people who stopped by the stream, who threw out some raids, who threw out some cheers, some subs, and some direct donations to the campaign. It was absolutely fantastic. Like we said, Aur3llia is our Master Moderator, filled in last week, like one of our favorite co-hosts of all time.
Oh, of course. Triple
favorite
threat
co-host. Yeah. She's just the best of the best, and we were happy to take up the stead of her charity while she was absent through the month of June, and we were so excited that the Legion of Love came out here, represented, and made a bunch of donations to the charity as well, as we fought for a cure, right? So we rocked some Division 2 the whole last 2 weeks of June there, hopefully entertaining y'all and hopefully raising awareness for this charity, and we absolutely did, because we were able to push her charity all the way up over the $300 goal, thanks to all you beautiful people. So here's some Pride love for you guys.
You know it.
And here is some Twitch love for all you beautiful people. And you know what? Here's a little bit of Legion love for all you beautiful people out there.
Oh.
Special thanks, of course, to Quad God for the epic raid she threw us, to Evil Woozy Bear for gifting 5 subs to the channel.
Wow. That's awesome.
To J-Dog for all the cheers he threw out. He was our top cheerer. To Democracy for not only playing Division 2 with us, but also for a slew of cheers that he threw out. To Life Reboot, who didn't miss a single stream. He showed up in each and every single one. Even on most days that were coinciding with him streaming, he managed to stop by and show some love. And a big thank you to Circle, who made the final donation to put us over the $300 mark and played with me pretty much the whole time that I was streaming. So big thanks to him as well.
I got to say, I love all you guys, and you're breathtaking.
You're all breathtaking.
Man, no, you guys are awesome. You know, definitely. We always appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us on Mondays, Wednesdays, sometimes now on the weekends. You know, like it's just rocking and rolling, man. The Power Hour train is growing strong. And man, yeah, it's just so great that you guys come on out and check us out. And thanks so much for being a part of the community.
Yeah, it's all thanks to the Legion of Love out there. Without your guys' support, we'd just be talking to empty space. So thank you guys for showing up week after week. Courtney Courtney Girl says, thank you guys for last month's for the LGBTQ thing. It means a lot to me for that. Yeah, well, we're so glad, like raising awareness for that sort of thing, for inclusivity, for people showing a general sense of compassion is what the Power Hour of Love is all about. We're about spreading the love.
All about the love. And, absolutely.
Again, my favorite thing, it's one of the clips we have we'll be sharing later this week, was from that Supergirl episode where the girl says the greatest gift we can give one another is our true selves. So we encourage everyone to be their true self, to be exactly who you are, who you want to be, and we encourage others to accept that so graciously as the gift that it is. If someone's sharing exactly who they are with you, embrace it, love it, respect it.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys are all going to be better off because of it. So, no, we were happy to do it, and we hope that if it at least touches one person the way that it did you, then we did our job out here at the Power Hour, man. So we're super glad. Thank you for saying something as well.
Absolutely, man. No, it looked like a great show. Like I said, I wish I could have been here, but you guys did a great job, and it looked really fun, and I'm just glad everything turned out splendid, just great.
No, it did. It was really great. So, but the week prior to, we also, during the news, had a very impassioned moment as well, talking about a Wall Street Journal article that wrote a scathing review of Discord, which is something that we found here at the Power Hour of Love to be one of the most useful ways that we've ever found to connect with Legionnaires and with other outstanding, caring, compassionate people. So the fact that the Wall Street Journal shed such a bad light on Discord really bothered us, and we decided to take it amongst ourselves to be part of the solution to people who are saying bad things about Discord by creating even more of an avenue for people to approach and be part of the community and to have fun and have a safe and inclusive environment. So, of course, tonight we're launching our Discord server.
Oh, yeah.
! Discord in the chat, or a panel right underneath Game Night above Legionnaires on our dashboard will lead you to our brand new Discord server, where we invite you guys to come by, have some fun, share thoughts, ideas, community, and spread the love.
Oh, man, you know it. We know some members, the longtime members of the Legion of Love, know we love to share the love throughout the week as well, even when we're not streaming. So, like you said, always feel free to go on there, throw down something you think is cool that you want everybody else to say. And who knows, we may even talk about it right here on the Power Hour.
Absolutely, guys. It's a way for all of us to connect, come together, and enjoy sharing thoughts and ideas with one another. So we definitely encourage you guys to check that out, as well as any of our social medias where you can keep up with the Power Hour of Love. But the Discord, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to say, it's like a digital mind meld, we're all just gaining knowledge.
It is, but the Discord's going to have a few extra fun little perks to it, in the sense that we can share videos and memes and stuff really easy down there in some channels. It's also where you'll go to connect with us to be able to play on Game Night from now on. So you can chat with us in chat channels there. We can also do full-on audio conversations in there, so we can get together in a big group and all talk amongst ourselves. And, a lot of other fun, exciting things will be coming out in the upcoming months over there on Discord. But trust me, it's a lot of fun. It's a really cool app. It's got a lot of neat stuff. We invite you guys to come check it out.
Can't wait. I know I'm already in there. I've already joined. I've already messed up the rules page.
Yeah, first one in, baby. Woot woot.
Hey, I'm still a Discord novice. I don't even have a little icon.
Yeah,
yet.
you didn't put a profile pic yet.
I still got this little guy sitting in my thing, but I'm gonna fix that. Definitely. I care about the Discord. I think it's a great platform. Like I said, I really like the fact that you don't have to give out a lot of information.
That's no cool. Information almost.
So it's kind of nice for folks who don't want to be sharing all their real life stuff. They can kind of just have their own little getaway and go on there and chat. And it's free.
Doesn't cost you anything. That's super awesome.
We love
you can
that.
make long distance phone calls back and forth internationally. Like I've streamed right here on Game Night with Spooky Butt, who is in England. And it's completely free for us to game together and play together and talk to each other over Discord. So Life Reboot says he has no clue how Discord works. I am terrible at it.
I'm right there with you, buddy. We'll learn together. The Legion of Love, like I said, it's like the digital mind meld. We're all gonna learn.
No doubt. But yeah, man, if you come on by and have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to help you out. Because it is a pretty awesome kind of social media thing there. You know?
Well, like you said, just the ability to be able to share videos. Like I know you were telling me there's like different areas where you can post stuff. So if you have something that's a little more racy that you don't want the general public to see, you can kind of post that in like a more
we have like a
area.
not safe for work area, and you have to click on the yes I'm over 18 thing to get in there.
Exactly, just in case. Sometimes there's some funny stuff that has maybe a little language or something too crazy. You know? But yeah, absolutely, man. It's just kind of a fun open area for you guys to really spread the love.
Absolutely, guys. So yeah, come on by anytime, and we'd love to have you over at the Power Hour of Love.
But man, we've been talking about all the awesome charities. We've been talking about the Discord, but man, what are we talking about tonight?
What are we talking about tonight, guys? We're talking about Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh,
all right?
Yeah.
And again, we're not going to go into any spoilers from Endgame or anything like that.
Nope.
We're strictly going to be talking about things in Far From Home that aren't spoilers for Endgame, and mostly the actual comic book history behind this awesome, fish head helmeted character Mysterio, right? And the very interesting comic book story that he has, and what our thoughts and predictions are for how he will come to be in Spider-Man Far From Home.
And man, I know, like you said, a lot of people see this character and like, man, looks a little goofy, but man, Mysterio is a pretty awesome, dangerous villain that, we'll see what's, we're going to dive into the Far From Home stuff, because so far from the trailers, it doesn't look like he's that bad of a guy.
Yeah.
But who's to know what's behind that bowl?
Absolutely, man. He's traditionally a villain in comics, but he's looking like a super good guy here in the trailers. So let's take a dive back to 1964, and let's see what Mysterio's really all about. What do you guys say?
I say, let's do it.
All right. So first off, the first appearance of Mysterio was all the way back in Amazing Spider-Man number 13. Right? Now, this is in June of 1964 that it was actually put out. And again, is one of the first Spider-Man issues. Only 13 issues in. That's only just over a year into Amazing Spider-Man. So,
a couple of villains predate Mysterio. Dr. Octopus, Electro,
the Lizard.
There's Vulture. But man, like when it comes to like characters that were completely switch up, I mean, I think this was a very creative character. Now, who came up with the idea for this particular character?
Well, at the time, you may remember that the writing team and artist team, the writer-artist team, that's what I'm thinking of, for it was Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, right? Steve Ditko came in with some amazing, really animated poses for Spider-Man that gave him that sort of agile look, that more agile than a normal person sort of look. So it's what Steve Ditko is really most known for, was his work on Spider-Man, and this was absolutely one of his creations.
Now, Ditko did the armpit webs, right? That was classic Spider-Man, wasn't it?
I don't think so. I think that came later.
That was later? Okay, I thought that was a Ditko thing. But either way, when you see that cover, like, that's a Steve Ditko cover. Like, he always liked to do action shots, on those covers. Like the one has, with Doc Ock, Spider-Man's grabbed by the the claws, and, Electro, he's like getting electrocuted. Like, it was almost like a picture right out of the book versus like
look at him here on this
cover.
cover.
There you go. Yeah,
shooting
exactly.
some webs. Mysterio's got some smoke around him and stuff.
He's like, ho, 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 Spider-Man. I always thought of him like, having that very muffled, like your head in a bowl kind of voice to him, But no, very cool. I love that artwork.
Yep.
Of course, Stan the Man.
Yeah, Stan the Man, Lee, and Steve Ditko are bringing to life Mysterio, right? Let's talk a little bit about Mysterio. Mysterio is actually Quentin Beck. Why don't you tell us a little bit about him, Senior Boy?
All right, yeah. So Quentin Beck, he was a special effects wizard and a stuntman working for a major Hollywood studio with dreams of making a name for himself in the film industry. However, he came to see that his career in special effects was a dead-end job. So...
and this was before CGI, apparently. So
exactly. Movies, I guess. Well, I mean, you got to imagine back then, like, I'm sure they had like a new one every few weeks, but it wasn't like now where every week there's one or two coming out, you know. But I know you had mentioned that he has attempts to become an actor were received poorly, but he realized that his expertise in illusion could make him a superhero.
Absolutely, right? So here we see this guy. You can see why he probably didn't really make it as an actor. Unless he was doing Frankenstein movies, he wasn't getting a lot of big parts, right? But he also tried his hat at directing for a little while, and turned out he was kind of too hot-headed for that, would yell at the people on set and all. So he didn't really do a great job. But yeah, he decided to use his knowledge of special effects wizardry to make himself a superhero, because to him, all that superheroes did was create a bunch of spectacle anyways. So real quick, big shout out, Big Patches. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so since Spider-Man was already the go-to hero around town, Mysterio came up with an idea, right, that would solidify him as the superhero of choice. So basically what he decided to do was disgrace the wall crawler and take his place as the honored superhero. By doing this, of course, or like his plan to do this was he was going to dress up like Spider-Man and use his special effects magic to frame him for a crime. So, super guy.
I know, it's like superhero. That sounds like not very nice, you know? Definitely not truth justice.
Yeah, it's really he sounds like a jerk. Like,
exactly.
Not cool at all.
Quentin. Now, it's a kind of, Quentin Beck, that name back then. I don't know a lot of Quentins from back. Obviously, we know now Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. But still, that's the only Quentin you know.
That is, yeah.
Oh, wait, Quentin Lance.
There you go.
Old Squintin' Lance out there from Arrow.
What are you doing? What are you doing over here, Lance?
Hey, Ghetto Devil in the house. Spoiler, Mysterio is really Aur3llia in a goldfish helmet. Could be, man. I mean, he does rock a lot of purple there, doesn't he?
That's true. There is a lot of purple. It would be kind of funny to see a little fish floating around in there.
Well, one of the funny things to me is that Spider-Man notoriously is broke throughout his career in comics, right? So the idea that Quentin Beck is going to become a superhero to somehow support himself doesn't make any sense at all. This was so bad that at one point early on, Spider-Man even tried to get hired by the Fantastic Four as the fifth member of the team so that he could collect a steady paycheck for his superheroism, to which Mr. Fantastic told him, like, dude, we don't get paid for being superheroes. Like, you just do that out of the goodness of your heart, man.
That was in Spider-Man #1 that he learned that lesson.
Yeah.
So it was really funny how they were, Marvel was very big on making it where you could relate to these characters and where, I mean, of course there's aspects of DC characters that, but, a lot of us aren't billionaires.
Yeah.
But no, absolutely. That's a classic thing that Spider-Man broke into the Baxter
building out there. Yeah.
To be trying to become the Fabulous Five, But talking about Quentin Beck, though, definitely, like you said, look at that. He does have kind of like a Boris Karloff look to him.
Yeah, kind of a Mo haircut there. Like. So, yeah, we could see why he wasn't really nailing as an actor, especially if he had a bad temper and stuff. Like, he wasn't doing good. So he decides to spring for this life of crime, framing Spider-Man instead. I'm not sure what our next slide is. I don't know if it has to do with what we're talking about next.
Okay.
Let's see it. Mysterio in comics. That's exactly what we're talking about.
There we go. There you go. See, look, Mysterio must be in control of the slides tonight. Well, definitely, I think one thing that'd be kind of cool, because we've seen, the trailers for Far From Home, and it definitely looks like they're amping up Mysterio a little bit. But we want to kind of lay down for you guys, like, what we know in the comics are his, like, actual abilities.
Yeah. But to wrap up that first story of his, though, right?
Yes.
So, of course, he's trying to frame Spider-Man, by dressing up like him and committing these crimes. Then he goes to the Daily Bugle with all this evidence because, the Daily Bugle, run by J. Jonah Jameson, is constantly, liable.
Yes.
Like they're libus, like saying all sorts of bad stuff about Spider-Man, trying to make him out to be a villain anyways. So he figures, like, going to J. Jonah Jameson and them, he'll be able to kind of really sway them into thinking that he's a bad guy. And the idea is that Mysterio will catch Spider-Man and turn him in. Right? Now, while all this is going on, poor Peter Parker, hearing all this stuff on the news and seeing these things reported, he starts thinking, dude, am I like losing my mind?
Oh, yeah.
Do I have a split personality? Am I going out as Spider-Man and actually committing crimes? So he's super worried about it, right? But it turns out in the end, when the two of them meet up, when Mysterio tries to confront Spider-Man and actually arrest him, that he is foiled due to the one power that Mysterio couldn't replicate, which is Spider-Man's spider sense.
Oh, yeah. That definitely has saved his butt quite a few times. And
yes.
definitely, like you said, doesn't just come to any geek off the street, so to say.
No doubt. But what abilities did he use to try to capture Spider-Man? We'll tell you all about it right now. Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, man. Well, of course, we've mentioned that, special effects and illusions expert. He could make things look like they're there and then disappear, or, like a giant monster's heading at Spider-Man would be like, oh, man. But like you said, like I'm sure sometimes that spider sense wouldn't go off, so he'd be a little confused because it's just an illusion. Also, he was a master hypnotist, so he could hypnotize, and he was a bit of a magician, because he could disappear and do all that stuff. But man, he had a lot of other stuff in his arsenal. Why don't you go ahead and tell him about the last few things?
Yeah, with his work in special effects, he learned how to be an amateur chemist and roboticist based on a lot of the smoke and mirrors and effects that he was generating. So he did have a lot of mechanical and robotical aptitude in that capacity, but he was also an exceptional hand-to-hand combatant, which I don't really know where or why he picked that up, but it's comics. Everybody's like knows kung fu, so it's all good.
I was just gonna say, there's a couple stories later on that might prove that one to be a little them being
so
a little nice.
Yeah.
But I did get those abilities straight from the Marvel database.
This is Quentin Beck's like resume that he puts out. Right? I'm an exceptional hand-to-hand combatant
on his LinkedIn, right?
Yeah. doesn't really know how to fight though.
But man, I know one thing. It might not be a power, but you want to be, if you're a supervillain, you want to be a part of this group. Yes. Quentin Beck / Mysterio is also an original member of the Sinister Six.
Absolutely. That's the big six villains that Spidey originally faced, going Doc Ock, the Vulture, Mysterio, the Sandman, Electro, and the Hobgoblin, not the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
A lot of people get them mixed up, but it's the Hobgoblin, right?
Definitely. This is a terrible six-pack right here.
Oh, absolutely, dude. This is not one you want to crack open on a Friday and still be dealing with on a Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Well, J-Dog says, got to be handy with the web, man. Keep the streets clean. Heck yeah, dude. And Life Reboot says, I remember the scene in the animated series where there's like 10 Mysterios lined up in a row. Spider-Man didn't know which one to attack. He says, gotta trust my eyes, just close my eyes, and he did a jump kick flip thing and got him right in the chest. Absolutely, man.
That's awesome. Now,
gotta trust my spider sense. Gotcha.
Yes. And I gotta say, I mean, of course, like the animated series took some liberties with some characters, but yeah, a lot of times, anytime, I think Mysterio's a very good media villain, like something to see in like live action, where some of these other characters might not transition as well. I mean, I would love to see a real deal like Electro, like how he looks here. Nothing against Jamie Foxx, I'm sure he did the best he could, but I didn't like that he was electricity.
Yeah, that's very much from the Ultimate Spider-Man universe, where he was like living electricity. But at that point, you have to realize he's faster than light.
Yeah.
So how is Spider-Man ever stopping Electro? That's like ridiculous. So this guy that was just a dude in a suit who could like harness electricity or like let electricity run through his body and not kill him made a lot more sense. Red Zapdos in the chat down there with a cute little kitty. Hey, Red, how you doing? Thank you so much for stopping by. But yeah, so again, there's been, like many comic book characters, there have been several iterations of Mysterio.
Yes.
Quentin Beck was famously killed in a comic by Kevin Smith and then later brought back to life. He's been refeatured in the Ultimate series as not even Quentin Beck, but as a totally different character. So there's lots of different iterations of the character, but we're focusing on the 1964 original Quentin Beck, Amazing Spider-Man number 13, part of the original Sinister Six, like you said, the Master Illusionist. And I think that he's one of Spider-Man's most fantastic villains for the sole principle, like you said, and like Life Reboot pointed out. Spider-Man can trust his spider sense, but in a room full of illusion and mystery, it's almost, it can be worthless. In the particular instance that Life mentioned, it was very handy. But think about if there's a fire going on, or there's a flood, or there's people in danger. How do you know? Like, his spider sense wouldn't go off because people were in danger. You know, it's when he's in danger. So,
oh yeah, no,
he
was definitely very dangerous. You know, because like you said, you just didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, and he comes out.
You can't tell if those people in danger are an illusion. They might not even be real.
Or it could be a robot. Like I said, he's he had his robotic skills down too. So this big guy coming towards you might be a robot that could actually do you physical harm. So yeah. Now when you think about Mysterio, I would have to say if we were going to do a comparison. I would say he's probably very close to like Clayface from the Batman, Rogues Gallery. Just the actor side of it, being able to kind of put on in a sense of
a performance was the focus of the character. Was his performance. Valentina TV in the house.
Woo!
You're gonna throw Twitch love out there for Valentina.
Much love.
Hey, hold on, I got something for Valentina down here in the chat here.
Here we go.
Let's hit this exclamation point epic.
What's happening?
Bacon strips and bacon strips and bacon
strips. Is it okay? It was for you were talking. I remember you were mentioning that somebody you had to wear the bacon strips for tonight. So
absolutely,
awesome
like
stuff.
my slew of Spider-Man shirts, and that I I have like 8 Spider-Man shirts, and I was like, dude, I'm rocking the bacon strips. Bull's like, what the hell are you doing?
I was like, I got you. It's all good, but man. I'm sure Mysterio likes bacon strips too, but
definitely.
One other
he's human, so
yeah. Well, like you said, you just never know if you're talking to the real Mysterio or not. But aside from the Sinister Six, it didn't stop there. Mysterio is also a known member of the MAGA, which. In the early days of Marvel, that's what they used in place of like the New York Mafia. Cause, they didn't want to be talking about the Mafia in New York City in comic
in the 60s. Hell no.
So the MAGA was kind of brought up as like your typical New York Mafia style with the Dons and stuff like that. And that he would do jobs for them, which in a turn would, he could put some sort of illusion on while they robbed a bank or something like that. So he was more of an affiliate,
Yeah, so definitely after that first encounter with Spider-Man, he was outed. Like people realized, this guy was trying to frame Spider-Man and do bad stuff. And Quentin Beck became more about the personal gain and taking down of Spider-Man, that classic villain attitude of the fact that he was just going to get Spider-Man now, but he had to fund his newest inventions and his awesome illusions, and he did it by working with the MAGA and the New York City comic book mafia, committing crimes with them.
I think
working
later
with the Sinister Six.
I was gonna say, I think later on they just said, okay, no, it's the mafia, but like those were like in the the Spider-Man number 13 days, like or probably more in the 20s or something like that when he came back. But that was the other thing too. I know Doc Ock was the first recurring villain to happen, and of course then followed probably by the Green Goblin had a lot. But I know Mysterio popped up back in there very soon after his first appearance, so people definitely liked him, and they liked writing about him.
Yeah. Well, again, he's a great character because he has no powers.
Yes,
like he's kind of like this weird offshoot of like if Batman was a total jerk. This is if Batman didn't already have money, this is what he'd be doing.
Exactly, man. Now, with that being said, it's New York City. We all know there's a lot of superheroes running around New York. So it wasn't that Mysterio stayed exclusive to Spider-Man. He actually went off and became a Daredevil villain for a while as well.
Yes, which came to a shattering conclusion. Because Daredevil is nowhere near as nice as Spider-Man is. Famously, Spider-Man holds back so much of his ability because he's literally one of the top-tier strengths in the MCU. Even as a young teenager, being able to lift automobiles over his head, having the proportionate strength of a spider as a full-grown man meant he could lift several thousand pounds. Most famously in the MCU, you see this in Civil War when he first meets Bucky, the Winter Soldier who's able to punch Captain America back several feet. And he throws a punch with his bionic arm at Spider-Man, who's like, dude, you got a metal arm? That's super cool. Like, it's just not even a thing for him to, counter that sort of attack. But Spider-Man, like I said, famously holds back, knowing that most of his assailants are far less strong than him, and he really doesn't want to hurt anybody. Daredevil don't give a crap. He does not have an array of abilities in which he gives a crap.
He's like, you see this Billy Club right here? Yeah, you're gonna meet it real soon.
Yeah, exactly. He's all about cracking heads and following the law. The laws of justice and vengeance. But
it's funny because when you think about illusions, Daredevil doesn't he can't see. So
Yes.
I mean, he has his senses, but that's why I think Mysterio would mess with them. Like, he needs sound and stuff like that, and he would play loud sounds so he wouldn't have such a feel. Where he is. He learned that early on that he could take advantage of his lack of sight. So just to go to show how much of a crafty, a crafty character.
It's kind of shady. Like, this guy's blind. Let's totally mess with him.
Exactly.
But no, Daredevil again is another one of my favorite heroes. For again, like, he does have enhanced senses, but because he's blind as well, they're kind of almost making up for one another. Mm-hmm. And his real power to me was always in the tagline of his comic, where it said Daredevil, the man without fear. And he's like famous for saying, I live in a world of darkness. I have nothing to be afraid of. And you're just like, dude, that's so baller that this guy just takes it upon himself to go and kick ass because he's not afraid to. And you're like, that's a hell of a baller superpower right there, to just give a shit and be like, I'm going to go do this because it's right.
Oh, you know it, man. No, he's a great character, and we'll definitely have to do a Daredevil episode sometime.
Absolutely, man. And you know what? We got to catch up on chat a little bit. We got a lot of chat flying by. Valentina says, amazing. Ha, ha, ha. I just woke up, immediately hopped on, hoping to see your shirt. You got it, dude.
Awesome.
There you go.
And
hopefully that epic link someone will get some joy out of, because that's the corn dog one that has that super hot girl I was telling you about eating a giant corn dog. Just super cool. Johnny November coming in, Mr. Power Hour. How you doing? Oh, man, I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing, Senior Boy?
Oh, great. So glad to be back this week and spending my Monday night with you beautiful people.
No doubt. Red Zapdo says the hashtag MAGA. Oh, man. J-Dog coming in with the bacon strips. Trek Life down there. Forget about it. Hey, Mafiosa, man. Thank you for joining us, Trek Life. Coming in hot right there. Love it. Valentina's talking to Jay a little bit here, talking about the game she was playing with Sad the last day of June. She was playing last night on the last day of June.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Really cool. I did get to catch a bit of it. It was an extremely sad game. Red Zapdo says, wait, Spider-Man becomes Daredevil? No, but Mysterio goes and starts messing with Daredevil, which wasn't wise, as you can tell from this show.
Yes.
So
we were just kind of showing that Mysterio wasn't a one-trick villain. He was kind of like, I'm going to go over here to Hell's Kitchen and start some stuff, but that probably wasn't such a good idea.
Well, yeah, a lot of villains got to move around the MCU a little bit there, which is always nice. Life Reboot says, and I used to have trouble lifting a Volkswagen.
I believe it. I believe Life could lift a Volkswagen.
But I think I missed a key part of the connection between the two. I don't know comics very well. So what's interesting, right, is a lot of people think of the Kingpin as a Daredevil villain, that he is his arch nemesis and the pinnacle of him. He's the main feature in the Netflix series, but the Kingpin first appeared in a Spider-Man comic.
Yep.
So this is just sort of a very similar thing, that though Mysterio started off in a Spider-Man comic and primarily stayed a Spider-Man rogue, he did end up facing off with Daredevil on several occasions just because of the uniqueness of Mysterio's abilities versus Daredevil's super senses. Like, it almost became thrilling for Mysterio to see if he could trick Daredevil.
Yes.
Because he did have advanced hearing and advanced feel, touch, taste, smell. But could he trick him? It made his illusions the penultimate if he could trick Daredevil.
Yes. And like you said, man, I'm sure Kingpin would probably hire on Mysterio to do some dirty work on Daredevil and Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I love that comic. But that's one of my favorites.
Yes.
Spider-Man number 50, the first appearance of the Kingpin.
Yes. But now we've shown you guys tonight a little bit of Quentin Beck, the ruggish, kind of washed out as an actor, special effects guy who thought he could be a superhero by framing people, wasn't really a good dude, wasn't a smart guy, wasn't a good-looking guy. So how did we end up with handsome Jake Gyllenhaal portraying the heroic Mysterio that we've seen in the Spider-Man Far From Home trailers so far? Well, we're going to take a little bit of a look at what we've seen from the trailers so far and what we think may be to come from Spider-Man's Far From Home's Mysterio. And we're going to do that on the other side of the news.
Oh, yeah.
A bit of a tease for you guys.
Definitely. We just want to, like we said, we were going to talk about a little bit of Far From Home. No spoilers, just in case some people didn't catch that at the beginning. We're not going to talk about anything that may have gotten revealed in another movie, but we're going to stick straightly to what we saw in those trailers. And, Mr. Quentin Beck or Jake Gyllenhaal's rendition.
Absolutely, guys. But for right now, let's tell you about what's going on in this great, big, beautiful PoDunk world of yours.
Let's do it.
PoDunk News.
Oh, man.
Like El Bandito said, man, there's always some wild news going on out there. We just always like to bring what we usually consider the most like up-to-date, entertaining stuff that we think you guys would want to know, things we want to share, and also stuff that you guys, now with our new our new server.
Yes, our new Discord server out there that you guys are welcome to join. We'd love to invite you guys once again to do that. We have a link down in the dashboard below, right above our Legionnaires and below our game night imagery. And ! Discord in the chat. We'll link you right over to our Discord, where we are hoping to create just another inclusive, fun, safe environment for us to get together, spread the love, share a lot of fun things. There's also a stream promotion channel on there, so when you're streaming, you can feel free to put links to your channel in there so that we don't miss out on what you beautiful people are doing either. So definitely get down there, check it out, and spread some love.
Absolutely, and you never know. We might actually pick a story that one of you guys put in the Discord channel and actually feature it here on PoDunk News. That'd be kind of cool.
That's a good idea. I didn't think to do that. I will make a room specifically for news.
There you go.
So we can put news in there. That's
we'll have some Legion headlines over there.
Absolutely. I dig that, man. I didn't even think of that.
There we go. Boom. Bringing it together. All the love for you guys, and, man, we're just cranking them out. But here, let's tell them what's coming up in the news, man.
All right. Something, again, we thought all you beautiful people would want to know about is that Twitch sells out.
Oh, be careful, man. I don't think I read this one before.
I'm just like, hey, where's my check, right? No, so Amazon Prime Day is just around the corner, and in order to celebrate, the Amazon-owned Twitch has announced a brand new event that will take place over the course of 2 12-hour live streams during the 2-day shopping extravaganza.
Wow,
right?
okay.
So for anyone who's not familiar, Amazon Prime Day is kind of like the Black Friday of Amazon. They just picked a random time to do this here. I'm sure it's significant to them in some way, but they host this event for 2 days where they put tons of stuff on clearance and on sale. So since they own Twitch now, they're using Twitch to promote the event, and they're doing so by featuring dozens of your favorite, we didn't get asked, but your favorite Twitch streamers are now tasked with showcasing deals on everything from games and gaming peripherals to kitchenware and other electronics. In addition to this, they will also dive into previously unseen demos and gameplay of some of the most anticipated releases of the year.
Well, definitely. Well, I'm sure they're going to continue this to years to come, so Twitchverse out there, be sure to come out and check out the Legion of Love, man.
Yes,
we got a lot of stuff to share as well, but that's all good, man.
We'll give you guys some deals.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah,
we'll have like a coupon day or something.
Coupon day.
I can't believe it. I brought all of you people here to defend me, and the only one on my side is the blood-sucking lawyer.
Classic. If you can name that quote, put it down in the chat.
Absolutely, guys. Red says Twitch already sold out. Sub-only streams now exist, which goes against the tone of game companies, TOS, for streaming their games like Blizzard, Valve, etc. Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I didn't like that. Like, that popped up last week that now they have it where you can set your stream where only subscribers can view it. So you can do an exclusive stream for just your subs.
Oh, I see. So it's not like,
that doesn't seem nice.
I mean, the whole thing I love about Twitch is the community.
Yeah, exactly.
That communal experience. So that really does. If you're going to make it exclusive for the folks, I mean, we love our subscribers, don't get me wrong. But, the fact that to make it say that, only the subscribers can see it, yeah, that seems like a little bit of a cop-out, man.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, and I guess we could pick and choose, like if we wanted to run a stream that's just sub-only and then the next day do it not. But again, like, I mean, I guess it's cool to entice your subs, but it just seems like, hey, we're here to connect with all you beautiful people, not make a bunch of money, So
you know what I think would be cool in something like that? Like if you're going to do like a how-to session or something, like kind of dive into like stuff that's maybe more behind the scenes. I could see maybe doing a little thing like that, but not like our usual like content. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's not like you couldn't find how-tos all over YouTube for free.
Sure, sure. I was just saying,
it just seems weird.
Yeah, it does. I don't know. I was trying to come up with something that would be like, maybe we could fit into that. But nah, I think our content should always be.
I'm honestly worried about what people are gonna do when they're like, oh yeah, people will pay money to watch me do something. Like, I just think they're gonna have weird fetish streams or something, you know. So Life Reboot nailed it, coming in Jurassic Park represent.
I'm telling you, Life.
J-Dog says, I've seen a streamer where they have follower-only chat. Yeah, follower-only is kind of different because basically what they're trying to avoid there is people who spam your chat. So a lot of really popular streamers will get just random people who just want to bounce in there and talk garbage, and then the followers can't really interact with the streamer anymore. So I kind of understand that. And it's free. Red brings up a great point, and it's free. Sub-only streams are actually paid streams, yes. Okay, Life says, before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it, and you slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You're selling it.
You're so good, man. I'm telling you, man, I think Life might be a distant relative of ours or something.
You know it, man. He's definitely a kindred spirit. Like, me and Charboil used to joke around that we could have entire conversations in just movie quotes. Where we don't say anything that's not a movie quote. We'll have to do that on the Power Hour one night.
Yes.
Do movie quote only night. And we'll make it a sub-only show.
Oh, no. We're all about sharing the love with everyone. We got to spread it. I don't even know what I was thinking coming up. Oh, but anyhow, speaking of news, thinking of some wild stuff, I'm back this week. I got to throw down just some real quick wrestling news. But this is actually really cool for any old school wrestling fans. It was recently announced, this is strictly for like the WWE, which is, a major wrestling federation. Paul Heyman is the new director of Raw, Monday Night Raw. And Eric Bischoff is the new director of SmackDown. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with those names, just a real quick history. Paul Heyman once started a company called ECW, which stood for Extreme Championship Wrestling. They went and did crazy stuff, and definitely, El Bandito and I are big fans. We went to go meet a lot of these guys. It's a lot of fun. Eric Bischoff used to run WCW, which probably is more well known, and they were a major competitor against the WWF back in the day.
But Bischoff ran that thing like a scumbag, dude. He did every dirty thing he could do to one up WWE, and I mean, honestly, it made the WCW competitive.
Yes.
So he was making his money, but he really had that sort of executive shark sort of style. Paul Heyman was just such a hype man.
Yes.
Like, for whatever reason, he could just get you jazzed about anything. And
he's like, you want tables? We'll give you tables. You want fire? We'll give you fire.
Yeah.
You want thumbtacks?
You got thumbtacks, man. No, absolutely. And ECW was the birthplace of so many people that went on to be in the WWE. You want to talk about Mick Foley, Al Snow,
Rob Van Dam,
the Dudley Boys.
Yep. Like, definitely. I think this is a really good move on the WWE's part.
Yeah.
Like, with the AEW coming up and making such a big splash, I think having these two guys run your major shows, like, they'll definitely, for one, probably be competing with each other to make the better show.
Yes.
But then at the same time, they're going to add that special tweak that made them special way back in the 90s when they were taking on. Imagine that, eventually saying, hey, my former competitors will now direct my my major TV.
No, what's even better is think about what the WWE's doing. These were two rival shows of theirs, and they're like, I'm going to put you on my channel to fight again. Like, now be rivals to each other.
Yes.
All over again, man.
It's a smart move. I think it's a good thing coming out of the WWE camp. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. But that will end it for the wrestling talk for tonight.
Red wants to know, is he like the sham wow guy, but for wrestling?
Who's that? Paul. Yeah. I would say that. I would say,
I think he's like the Billy Mays, right?
Yeah, he's a great mouthpiece. Like, he goes out there and he talk, like, they take a wrestler that's just known for his strength and power, and they just let Paul Heyman talk for him. They don't even let the guy say anything.
Yeah, he's like he's been a ring manager for a long time for Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
Because Brock Lesnar is not very charismatic on the mic. So they have Paul Heyman come out and talk him up and yell at other people, and then Brock Lesnar just pounds people, So he's a hype man for sure. So you got it. J-Dog says, Mick Foley, dude, love mankind. You know it. Cactus Jack. Bang, bang.
Bang, bang. Dude, I love it. No, absolutely.
So good.
We'll definitely have to do a wrestling show, even if it's just half an episode.
Yeah, we haven't done one in a while. We haven't done any good wrestling in a while.
But thank you guys for putting up with that. But we got some other wild news coming at you right now.
Jason claims another victim. Tell us all about it.
Oh, man. If you guys are fans of the Friday the 13th series, you know that there's a massive legal battle going on between the original company that owned the first film and the guy who wrote the original movie. And what it's done is a lot of things that are offshoots of the Friday the 13th series, such as the Friday the 13th video games.
Yeah, the amazing Friday the 13th video game.
Yeah, it was so awesome. We had so much fun playing it, but unfortunately it no longer can get any more updates because of this legal battle. Well,
I can't tell you this though. I just recently found out that Valentina got a copy of Friday the 13th. So I'm like, bro,
might have to go back to Camp Crystal Lake.
Exactly, dude.
Oh,
we might have to take her through some rounds, see if we can get her out in the old that old gremlin they got in there.
I think that would be a blast. We'll have to see how broken the game is now, and hopefully it'll still be a lot of fun. But no, I'm definitely down for that. But unfortunately, we're just sharing some news that another victim's been claimed because of this awful legal battle that's going on. The NECA line of action figures, which if you guys have been watching us for a while, our good buddy McPatches sometimes will come on and he collects these NECA figures, and they are awesome. Super detailed.
Super designer action figures.
Yeah, you could switch the heads on them. You put different arms on them and weapons and stuff. They're if you love horror movies and toys, NECA is the line you want because they're just so cool. But unfortunately, because of this legal battle, NECA has been forced to go and discontinue any future plans that they had to keep making Jason toys. But the thing is they've already kind of almost done every movie version. So it's those can still be sold, but anything for the future has been nixed.
Yeah, total bummer, man.
Absolutely.
Lawsuits messing up all this great Jason stuff, man.
I know. Just take a look at him right over here. Look how sad he looks sitting on his bed. He's like, what am I going to do now?
I do like this picture. It's just he's kind of like, whatever.
I know.
I don't care.
He's like, eventually they'll let me out again. Dude, I'll be waiting.
His posture is exactly like Mr. Fusion. When Mr. Fusion loses at the Halloween party.
Oh, gosh.
When we're doing a horror trivia contest and he loses because he's too drunk to follow
exactly.
So he's disqualifying himself, but then he just sits around like this, he's like, whatever, I don't care. You guys are just trying to screw me over. I would have won, you know it.
Well, speaking of Halloween parties, and since we're talking about Jason, it was just recently announced that our big 13th annual Halloween party's coming around in October, and man, we are going to have it be kind of Friday the 13th theme. So,
absolutely.
It'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully Victor Miller doesn't hear about that and try to sue me or something.
Sue me for what? No, but that should be a lot of fun, man. If any of you Legionnaires out there think you might be in the South Florida area.
Oh, yeah. We'd love to have
hit us up on
you.
our brand new Discord. Yay. So anyways, guys, talking about local events that are local to the Power Hour of Love that might just be super fun enough to find the Power Hour of Love hanging at, we wanted to tell you a little bit about this segment of Local Love. We've got freedom, 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 oi! Freedom, 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 oi! Freedom Fest coming to you 2019. Tell them all about it, Senior Boy.
USA. Yes. Well, Freedom Fest is our local big 4th of July festival. Mm-hmm. It's going to be down at Veterans Memorial Park in Fort Pierce, Florida. It's going to run from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's going to feature live bands, food, arts and crafts, vendors, children's activities, and face painting.
Yay.
So you could go there and and get yourself painted up like Jason or something patriotic.
Yeah. What kind of patriotic face paint do they have?
I don't know, man. Like a flag or something.
I want to look like Darth Maul.
There you go. You look like one of those guys that go to the football games. They got their eyes colored, blue, red, and
yeah, dude, do it.
But the fireworks will kick off at 9 p.m. So, it's been staying light out a little later now. So I think that's a good time for it. That's when, the sun's pretty much down and get to see all those awesome fireworks.
Yeah, it should be a super ton of fun. And, of course, guys, we'll be here Wednesday night right before the 4th, rocking some game night. So come by for a special Freedom Fest that we're going to be having right here on the game night, where I'll be rocking a little bit more of Fallout 76. It's been a while.
Man, you going back,
Yeah,
huh?
It's been a while since we hit the old wastelands out there, and we got to see what's shaking down there in Virginia and how we can help rebuild America's in the Fallout universe.
Well, I know, it's good for you to be getting geared up because sooner or later they're going to release that Wastelanders pack, which brings the NPCs back into the fold. So it should be pretty interesting to see, even since you last played, what changes have been made.
Oh, definitely. Like, they did have Nuclear Winter on like a beta for a while. So I'm hoping I can still get in. That's their new battle royale.
Yes.
Where you vie to be an overseer of your own vault. So we'll see if that's still available. I'll definitely be checking that out if it is. So
awesome, man. All right. Well, here, let's wrap it up with some headlines. Then we're going to be talking some more about Mysterio featuring Jake Gyllenhaal.
You got it, guys. All right, so this is the headlines rapid fire segment of the news where we're just going to tell you guys about some stories that are probably so big you heard about them, but we figured we'd just let you know. So first up, the Ban Francisco treat. That's right, San Francisco becomes the first city to ban e-cigarette sales, right? They're currently the first city to do so. We'll have to see if any further cities continue to do so. It's a little bit interesting because there's not a lot of information on whether or not e-cigarettes are really bad for you or not. It seems like they're not. So this is an interesting ban, and if anyone's in the area, you may just have to watch out for it.
Do you know if they still sell tobacco products, like regular tobacco products?
Yeah. That's what's interesting is that I'm sure they sell cigarettes. You just can't smoke them in certain areas.
Okay.
But you can't. It says specifically to ban e-cigarette sales.
Wow. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is really wild. So it's definitely, if you're in the area, worth more looking into to find out exactly what's going on out there because it sounds wild. But again, interesting that they're the first U.S. city to do so, and it's interesting that the news article put that in, the first. As though they just expect others are going to do it.
Others are going to follow.
Yeah.
Well, that's sometimes usually how it gets going.
What happened, California? You used to be the crazy state out there.
They were
now there's no smoking.
Yeah.
Vape Nation. All right. Next up, we've got an IRL streamer orders drive-through fast food in weirdest way possible. Now, I don't think this is the weirdest way possible, but that's the headline. But either way, this person walked through a drive-through and ordered food. Right? And they told them they couldn't get food if they weren't in a vehicle.
Sure.
So they got in a shopping cart and went through the line in a shopping cart and were able to get food.
Because it was...
If you look at the employee, I'm pretty sure they were just like, let's just sell this guy something.
Yeah, just so it'll go away.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that was still super against the rules. And
it's like an insurance thing, I think.
Yeah, it's a drive-through. There are cars coming. You can't be in there with a shopping cart or walking around. It's nuts, But
man, oh man. I've seen actually at some places on the drive-thru there's a sign that says, no videoing and stuff. I guess this has kind of become a thing where people have kind of recorded themselves like being acting a fool and then putting it on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for streaming. Yeah, I mean, we obviously love it. We love IRL streams and stuff, but be sensible, be respectful to people's, this is still private property.
Yeah, people are trying to work, just make a living,
That's kind of funny. But last but not least, the Rift patches are coming out fairly soon. So the Oculus Rift S patch dramatically improves controller tracking so far. This will also be coming to the Quest here in the near future, but a lot of people had been complaining about the controller tracking. A lot of our fellow Legionnaires will have seen that on Aur3llia's stream as she rocked the Rift S, and it would just suddenly pop away and be floating out in space for a minute. She had to try to catch it again,
Gotcha. So they're coming out with some new new updates.
Apparently the Rift S is patched, but it's coming to the Quest here very soon, which is the standalone VR unit.
Yeah, I've actually seen a lot of commercials for the Quest, so I think they're really trying to push that one. So.
Yeah, that's kind of their new standalone thing because you don't need to plug it into a computer to play it.
Do we know? I mean, we'll have to research this. I mean, if you wanted to just get a basic I know there's really no such thing, but a VR set, like a beginner VR set, like what would that run you? Like not even for the computer or whatever, but just the set.
Well, okay, when you say basic, right, a Rift or a Vive or something like that is probably going to run you around $400 to $500.
Okay.
But you can buy like these smaller ones, like the Go, even this Quest that doesn't need to connect. They have different resolutions and different gameplay capabilities, and they end up being cheaper. But they also have the ones that like use your phone, or like they have one game in it, so it's just kind of a thing you wear.
Okay, yeah.
And, those you can get for like $40-50.
Gotcha. I was thinking more one that would at least connect to the computer, but not be.
Yeah, those are going to usually run you around like $499 for the whole setup of everything.
Good to know.
So, about as much as a console,
Absolutely.
Which is to be expected, I think. It's a console that comes with a screen.
Yes.
So it seems like it should run you back a couple $100.
And of course, like you said, a lot of people don't realize, but the computer capacity that you need to actually run the VR is usually pretty heavy, or at least, you at least have to be modern,
Yes.
You gotta call, if your system's a few years old, you might not be able to handle it.
Yeah, definitely. But again, it's certainly super fun. We love watching it. And we encourage everyone to check it out and see how that works out for you, because like we can't wait to get our hands on
Oh, I would love that.
It's going to be a super blast. So
very cool.
But for right now, let's jump back into the studio, tell you guys a little bit about Quentin Beck in Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh, yeah. Man, speaking of a guy that was probably using virtual reality before it was even a thing, man, Quentin Beck, he had his helmet on and everything. That's probably what I would need. With my glasses and stuff. I need like
a dome.
I need a dome to just go around. What would be cool is if there was actually like a virtual reality that could like go into your prescription. You know what I mean? That could like set so that like I wouldn't have to wear my glasses
at all. Yeah,
that would be kind of cool. Even though I know it's probably some cyberpunk stuff we're talking about there.
No, I think they do have like a filter or something you just put in front of the whole thing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because think about it. Your glasses are just a piece of glass that's curved a certain way.
So
I think you
good.
can buy an insert. I think it's just like crazy expensive to the point where it's impractical.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, no, going off on the we'll have a virtual reality show sometime too.
Yeah,
guys,
considering we know nothing about it really. Let's probably should stray away from that topic.
Nope. But all right, back to Quentin.
What we do know about is Mysterio, right?
Yes.
So what we know so far from Mysterio is, of course, he's being played by Jake Gyllenhaal. So this version is also named Quentin Beck, which they do mention in the trailers, right? He's also said to be from an alternate Earth, so not the actual Earth that we know the MCU is primarily in. But they also show that he seems to be battling a group of elemental nemesises.
Yes.
Right? Tell us a little bit about them, Senior Boy.
Now, a lot of people, when these guys first came out, there's like a big rock guy, there's a fire guy, there's a dude that looks like sand. Everyone was kind of like, oh, man, are these going to be like the Sandman, the Molten Man, Hydro Man? But it turns out that, no, the elementals are another group of characters from the Marvel universe. But their actual origin I'm not as familiar with, but what they're doing in this area, same thing. I'm not too sure like where they're gonna play up. I think they just kind of show up, and then Quentin Beck kind of comes out as being almost like an expert on the elementals. So you're like, what's going on there?
Yeah, now they definitely show this version of Quentin Beck possibly actually having real powers.
Yes.
Because we see him doing quite a number of things. For one, he does have this sort of hero introduction. So he is getting introduced as a hero, but to Spider-Man, which is fairly different than the original comic, where he's trying to frame Spider-Man. Instead, here he's meeting him like they're going to work together, right? But we do see that he can create this sort of gas and this mist straight from his hands, which again could be an illusion, but it very much seems like a power when we actually see him flying around.
Yes, yeah.
In the air. So that's a pretty hefty trick to be pulling off. So obviously this is something that Iron Man probably could have easily done.
Sure. And like we said,
so there could be some room for this being an effect that Quentin is putting on.
You know it, man. And like we said, it does say he's from an alternate universe. So, he might have gotten his hands on some of that tech or something. I'm sure they'll elaborate in the movie. But like you said, it still starts to wonder if this is more of an illusion and not just something that he can do.
Yeah. Because one of my biggest things about it is, like you mentioned, with the elementals themselves, like, are they actually there? Are they really a threat to the city? Or is this something that Quentin Beck is manifesting and battling it You know, and he's inadvertently gotten the attention of Nick Fury and Spider-Man, who are like, hey, we're here to help. And now he's like, oh, shit, like, what am I supposed to do now? Because this isn't real. I was just supposed to save the day and look like a hero.
And the whole thing is like, at least from what we've seen from like Peter Parker's friends, like when they see Mysterio, like they get behind him. Like they're like, yeah, that guy's awesome. He kicks ass, you know, and it's like, you know, like that's the same thing. Like you said, that's very different from the comic version where it wasn't like he was a bad stuntman, but he like you said, there's always some folly that happened to him.
Yeah.
He got hot-headed or, you know, maybe
but even when he shows up as Mysterio in comics, people aren't just like, hey, thank you for saving us. They're like, well, is this Jamoke?
Exactly. So the fact that he's popular kind of makes you wonder what his true intentions are. I mean, maybe he will just be a good guy, but
maybe he's still looking for that glory. You know, like that's exactly I think what our Quentin Beck really wanted. You know, in comics was that recognition that a superhero has, if not the money, you know, or fame and fortune. You know.
Oh, absolutely, man. So I think that ultimately he's going to end up being our movie's villain.
I think so as well. We'll have to see. I think that they've done some great work in the MCU recently with giving us some turns of characters that we didn't see coming. So it's very possible that they're doing the same thing, a Mandarin-esque type ploy here. But yeah, like my prediction's pretty solidly going to be that he's creating the elementals as an illusion to try to make himself be a hero, and that Spider-Man showing up is screwing that all up for him, and he's going to end up getting outed and then fighting Spider-Man. That's my theory.
I think that lines right up with what I'm thinking, man. You know, so what... You know, just to wonder, like, what's your opinion of you know, Jake Gyllenhaal, the look of Mysterio? Like, how do you feel about his entry into the MCU?
Let me see. Do we have a... Okay, here we go. This is a good image here where we can see both Mysterio and Jake Gyllenhaal. So, again, he's probably way more handsome than someone I would have cast. But, again... that's not super important for the story, that he had to be rugged.
They already put Mickey Rourke in the Iron Man movie. So.
No doubt. But yeah, I don't think his actual look is as important as his demeanor and as his act. But again, if they start to sway the movie more in the terms of he is an actor performing these illusions, and he started as maybe like a stuntman. Remember, a stuntman has to fairly look like an actual star.
Yes.
So if he starts as a stuntman learning how to do illusions and things and special effects, it makes sense that he would look kind of handsome like a sort of famous actor, right? So it's certainly believable that this is how he ends up being how he is, and I think his costume looks fantastic.
I was going to say they could go Spaceballs level where it's like, you captured his stunt double, and he's got like a long beard and stuff. But no, I agree. I really like the costume. I think it's very traditional, like with the cape and has the little holders right there, and you know, it's green, you know, which is always what you always say, like fish green kind of look to it, you know. But man, I know it's been getting a lot of flack online, but I am so happy they kept the fish dome, you know?
Yeah, the fishbowl. It's iconic. It's iconic for Mysterio. Anyone who's a comic book fan knows him from that fishbowl helmet. You'd recognize him in an instant from that alone. So Life Reboot says the costume is on point. I like him as an actor. Not perfectly fitting for what I'm imagining, but I'm on board. Yeah, I think we're pretty much right there with you. That it's a little strange that he's such a good looking of a guy, but he's certainly been very creepy in some roles that he's done. So maybe he'll turn up the creep factor when he's not around. But again, maybe the point is that he is an actor and there's someone else who's a stunt person and they're working together. So he's just the actor putting on the show of being the superhero.
Oh, man, a theory just hit my head. What if he's actually Donnie Darko and he, like, you know, at the end he actually came to this, like, MCU world?
I don't even want to get into that.
I know. Definitely not one of your favorites.
Movie messes with my brain, man. You know?
But, yeah, ultimately, I think he's a cool choice. Like you say, he's a good actor, which is what Mysterio should be. And like I said, I just hope that they don't overdo it with the amount of Jake Gyllenhaal that we have to see.
Okay. Okay, here's another really crazy theory. Just came up with it, chat. Just came up with it here. What if this is an alternate universe and everyone's like, dude, you look like Jake Gyllenhaal?
That would be pretty funny.
He's a super famous actor where in our universe, over here, he's a superhero.
That would be pretty funny. Did I see you in Donnie Darko? Wasn't your sister killed in Batman?
They're going to be like, dude, but not for nothing, but the... oh, gosh, now I'm blanking on that movie. What was the name of it?
What are you thinking of?
That one... The Source Code.
Oh, okay.
Like, Source Code is freaking harsh, though. That was a good movie.
Yeah, no, he's been in some good flicks, you know, definitely, you know. So I think he's going to do a great job. I just hope that, you know, it's almost like The Vulture. Yeah. Like, Michael Keaton, it showed him when he was just kind of wandering around his base. But when you saw him as the Vulture, he was like
on.
Yeah, he was and he was wearing the mask and stuff. I just hope that like they don't have him like flying around and then the mask comes off and he has to talk to him because it's Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah. You know, I know they don't usually, you know, cater to that with the MCU. They're more traditional. So I just hope that when if he does battle Spider-Man, he looks like traditional Mysterio.
Yeah, considering how often we're seeing Tom Holland out of his mask and promotional stuff, I'm with you. I'm a little worried that they might be going heavy with the no mask stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, like you said, keeping Robert Downey Jr. mostly in a mask and, you know, Chris Evans mostly in a mask. But they still have times when they come out of it, but they always seem to weave it into a way that sort of makes sense.
Exactly.
And you never really feel like they're just copping out for that. Where a lot of other films, I know exactly what you mean. It feels like they just got to give this guy
constantly pulling. Yeah. I mean, think about, I know it's the example of a movie that we both weren't a big fan of, but like Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Like if they would have had Will Smith wear the mask that he was wearing at the beginning of the movie, the traditional Deadshot mask, that would have been amazing. You know, I think that looked great, but... Yeah,
it was Will Smith. They're like, we're paying all this money for him. Show his face out there. Otherwise, we could just hire anybody.
That's true. That's true. Voiceover.
Mr. Fusion says he really likes your theory, Senor Bull. And Life Reboot called it Nightcrawler, that he really creeped you out in the movie Nightcrawler. That's the one I was thinking of. I couldn't pull the name out of my head, but I was like, he was super creepy in that movie.
I don't think I ever saw that one. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, you got to check that one out because it's weird. It's like a psychological thriller kind of thing.
And I'm pretty sure Far From Home comes out tomorrow, right? I think it drops.
July 2nd, yes.
Yeah, it drops tomorrow, you know, so...
Yeah, so you guys will be able to check this movie out, find out what was wrong with our predictions, what we may have gotten right, who knows, or what other exciting stuff that they've come through, because I know... Hands down, the last 2 MCU movies I went to go see, I was completely surprised by the plot twists.
Well, and I don't think this would be a spoiler for Endgame, but I do hope that they do the return of the after credits scenes.
Yes.
You know, because like I always felt that was like a real fun thing that you got, a little teaser for that.
I'm sure they will. Is Endgame being the culmination of the first 10 years, I think that was kind of the finality of not having a coda on that particular film.
And I think they even said, I mean, it's that those sets of movies are known as the Infinity Saga. Now this will start some other saga that we'll find out in 10 years what it's based around. But no, awesome. I'm super stoked that, you know, this is coming out. You know, it's the last Marvel flick of this year before we actually hit like San Diego Comic-Con and the big D23 event where we're going to find out what's coming up next year and years beyond for Marvel, which is really exciting. So
absolutely, man. A lot of exciting stuff coming out. But that's going to about wrap it up from Far From Home. But we did want to take just a minute to peek at Mysterio in other media because he has been featured in a few video games and some other surprising places. So most notably, we wanted to point out his appearance in Spider-Man 2, like the iconic, 2004 PlayStation 2 game that was based on the 2004 film Spider-Man 2. This, why don't you tell them a little bit about it, Cinnabon?
Well, man, you know, just the game itself was like one of the first ones where you could travel around New York City, which was like, you know, and swing around.
World,
it was awesome. But if we're going to stick to the Mysterio talk, you know, he was actually featured in a side quest because he wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
But they were like, hey, we got to have some, you know, extra stuff.
Yeah, because unlike most movie-based games, this had you play through the story of Spider-Man 2, but it also had all of these side missions, including so many more of Spider-Man's rogues. So it was really, really interesting, and Mysterio was definitely one offshoot that you could run down and play through. So
and he popped up periodically throughout the game. It wasn't like a one-and-done kind of thing, so there was like this building story. Like I think one of of the missions was, Mary Jane was in like her theater where she's doing her performance, and like Mysterio sets the theater on fire. So I think you had to go in there and like web out the fire, and then he's like, taunting you and stuff like that. But you never really got your hands on him. He'd always get away until close to the end of the game where you walk into a convenience store. Like we said, I know it sounds weird being a Spider-Man game just trotting on into a convenience store, but they did that. You could deliver pizzas and do all kinds of save random people, Always that one guy hanging off the air conditioner.
Yeah. And you're like, that is not how you install that. What are you doing?
But you walk in and you see fully decked out Mysterio and in his outfit, and he's trying to rob the convenience store. That's where he's digressed to by that point in the game. And you can kind of like scan people in that game, so you would see that he had like 3 rows of like energy bars. So you're like, man, this gonna be a tough battle.
Yeah.
And what happens, Bandito?
Oh, no, you tell
me.
You
want me to tell him? All right, well, you walk up, man, and you just hit him one good time, and those meters go.
He hit him with that Spidey strength. Spidey had enough of it. He was just like, nah, dude.
One punch takes out that Mysterio boss.
I mean, he's just a guy. He has no powers. What do you expect?
Which, once again, when we go back to the earlier part of the show where we talked about that hand-to-hand combat, we're like, I don't know so much about that. But
I think he was fluffing the old res there a little bit with that hand-to-hand combat action.
But it was so classic that even to this day we talk about it as what a cool way to integrate the villain into the story and have it make sense and be real fun.
Yes.
So I love that cameo by him in that game.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, isn't he also voiced by a well-known actor?
I thought that too, like in the game,
not.
But he was not.
Okay.
There was somebody else. But that does lead us into the next spot that you could tell them all about.
Yeah, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4 never actually got off the ground, but was in kind of pre-production for a little while. Sam Raimi, of course, directed the first 3 original Spider-Mans with Tobey Maguire. Right now, however you feel about the third movie, the first 2 really paved the way for a lot of superhero flicks to come.
Absolutely.
Right? With Sam Raimi's kind of joyous retelling of classic comic book stories, and including in a little bit of this campy, over-the-top horrorness that Sam Raimi's definitely known for, coming off of the Evil Dead franchise. Now, of course, coming off the Evil Dead franchise, Sam Raimi had a cameo appearance of Bruce Campbell in every single one of the Spider-Man films so far, and they were all in some capacity of him working in entertainment.
Yes.
So the idea was that in a 4th film, Bruce Campbell, the star of Evil Dead and Army of Darkness, would play Quentin Beck. That character that we have seen was actually Quentin Beck struggling to make it as an actor / stagehand here in New York City. So we have an artist's rendition here.
Oh yeah,
right, of Bruce Campbell. But how cool would that have been? The king of the B-movie actors to come in and play Quentin Beck, a washed-up actor / stunt guy, and trying to overthrow Spider-Man with tricks and illusion. Like this would have been too good to be true.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, he's a pretty handsome guy too, but his snarkiness, I think, would have really sold the character.
Yeah, his jerk attitude makes him
It would have just been great, man. Yeah, him throwing stuff back and forth at Spider-Man. Plus, like you said, just with his fantastic fantasy-wise that those movies were, that they would have went really over the top with the illusions that he was putting on. I mean, you remember Sandman? He turned into like a giant monster.
Yeah.
Like I know we don't like to talk so much about the third movie, Venom and all that, but yeah, I could imagine if they would have went with this, that it would have been the illusion aspect would have been very heavy.
Yeah, definitely top notch. I mean, they were sparing no expense. Like the Sandman transforming into the Sandman for the first time in that reactor is still one of the best CGI scenes I've seen in a long time. So.
Like you said, I think visually and stuff like that, they did a real good job with it. I mean,
you talk about Venom in the same movie kind of looking like trash.
That's true.
So,
but they spent it all on that
the Sandman. Yeah, the Sandman thing.
But I love that he wore like his like green and black striped shirt.
Yeah,
that
Sam Raimi was always very true to the original comics, and I like seeing this Quentin Beck in Far From Home doing the same thing. He's very true to the comic, but he definitely looks real, which is also cool.
Well, and I know if they did do a 4th Spider-Man film, the other villain would have been either the Lizard or the Vulture. They wanted to get those in there, which
They had definitely set up Doc Connors quite a bit.
Yeah, the one dude from what is it, Shameless?
No, that wasn't Macy. That was a different guy. He just kind of looks like.
Are you sure?
I am positive.
Well, we're gonna double check that.
I'm positive. I'm gonna Google that right now.
Do it, because I'm pretty sure it is.
It is not Macy, dude.
I think it is.
Nope.
I'd almost put some quit and bet money on that.
Hey, you want to put some money on it? I'll take that bet right now, dude.
Go on, check it out.
Okay, that's the amazing guy.
Yeah, don't look at that guy.
From the other though. I should have just looked up Spider-Man. Hold on. What am I thinking?
Yeah, because he was in the first one too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Let's just put 2002.
I'm pretty sure it's him.
It's not, dude. I'm telling you, it's not. Watch. Here's the list of actors right here. And
All right, let's see.
Let's find old Dr. Kirk Connors. Where's he at? I think we have to hit the full cast.
Yeah, we did
like
have
a background character.
Maybe he didn't show up to the second movie.
I thought he was in the first one too.
Check the second one. I think maybe because he's at college in the second one.
Yeah,
right?
He's in college in the first movie too. He graduates very early on.
If you guys are just tuning in, we're looking up who played Dr. Kirk Connors in the original, well, not the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. So I'm pretty sure it's William H. Macy, man, because they were, like you said, they were kind of grooming him to take on a main character.
Yeah,
role.
but it just wasn't him. It's a different guy. We're gonna find his name here in a second.
Okay.
Hold on. Looking for it here.
There it is, Kirk Connors.
Where do you see
it's not.
See, it's Dylan Baker.
Who is that guy? What else was he in?
Dylan Baker. This guy.
I could have sworn it was that Macy guy.
Yeah, no.
Was he in the other Spider-Man movie?
No.
Man.
No, he was in Mystery Men. Remember, he was the shoveler.
That's probably the one. All right, so I would have lost money on that one.
I know. I noticed how you didn't pony up any dough on that.
No.
How confident were you really?
I always thought that was William H. Macy.
No, it wasn't him. Dylan Baker, apparently.
I'm not
I'll
remember
remember forever now to mess with these.
There you go. Dylan Baker.
Life Reboot says Spider-Man 3 was the first film my wife and I ever went to together, and it's a sad. It was kind of a jacked up movie. What's funny is, like, you can literally in your mind go through that movie and cut out enough of it to make the movie really good, because you could almost tell what was shoehorned in versus what was originally in the original script. You know, because a lot of what was going on with the Sandman was like very original script stuff, but all the Venom stuff was very shoehorned in and really didn't work very well.
And Raimi's come out and said that he didn't want to put Venom in the movie, that was a Sony thing.
Yeah, the studio was like, gotta do it.
Yep.
But even still, he could have done a better job. But I understand that he was trying to tailor what was already a movie with two villains in it, with the New Goblin and Sandman. He was already trying to take a movie that had two villains in it who were on a redemption arc and then wedge in another one and still make it follow the theme of the film, which is kind of what ended up losing Venom. Was he was never about any sort of redemption or being unable to achieve redemption. Like, he didn't want that, you know. He just wanted to ruin Spider-Man.
Well, that's what I loved about the first two movies. You had a central villain, and it gave plenty of time for them to deal that. I mean, I know Harry is kind of like a sub-villain in the second movie, but he's not, nowhere near what he is in like the third movie, where he actually takes on the role of the New Goblin, which he did in the comics. You know, he was just the Green Goblin.
But again, if they could have spent more time with him instead of Venom, like they could have developed that character better, because they ended up having to give him this goofy amnesia thing that was really dumb, and it just didn't work. Look, Life knew what was up. He says the professor in Spider-Man 2, Kirk Connors, is the guy who played the prince in Love Potion number 9.
Okay, there you go.
He says, I think he was also the doctor who took the medicine off the cart in the hospital scene in Requiem for a Dream. Ooh, I've never seen that movie.
That's where that awesome Clint Mansell
that song comes from, right? That song's amazing. They actually used that song to promote, I think it was the 2008 Incredible Hulk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was in one of the weird random trailers that they did for it.
It's funny, that movie always now gets kind of just shoved under the carpet.
But it's not a bad movie.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. I remember we went and saw it. I remember
Blonsky out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting owned.
Well, remember they even like hinted at the leader coming? Remember the guy's head gets all big? No,
and Samson.
Yeah.
Like
right.
he talked to a guy named Samson on the phone, I believe.
Yep.
So a lot of cool stuff they could have done out there. But All right, guys, that'll wrap it up for some Mysterio talk tonight. Again, if you'd like to join us on our brand new Discord, feel free to throw !Discord in the chat or check out the link in our dashboard below. Come and join this community. It's kind of a social media thing. If you're not familiar with it, jump on in, man. You got nothing to lose. It's totally free. Nothing bad's going to happen there, and you will spread the love about some cool, fun stuff. There's a little bit of rules in the rules page there. Just take a peek at that. It's pretty standard stuff, like don't post anything heinous. We have a not safe for work channel. Try to put stuff in there. You know, things like that, common sense sort of stuff. So take a gander at that. Welcome to the Legion. Come in, hang out with us, have some fun, spread the love, promote your stream, earn some cool rewards. It should be a super good time. So we're excited about that. But Wednesday night, we'll be back with game night, rocking some Fallout 76, returning to the Virginia wasteland. I want to thank all of you beautiful people for joining us here tonight, and I hope to catch you on Wednesday or on your beautiful streams sometime soon. Any final words out there for the beautiful people, Senior Boy?
Like you said, El Bandito, thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our knowledge transfer, our mind meld of Mysterio knowledge. Hopefully get you a little pumped for, the upcoming Far From Home.
Yes.
We'll definitely want to hear what people thought, spoiler free. But yeah, absolutely, man. Just thank you guys so much. We hope to catch you over there on the new Discord server, having fun with us throughout the rest of the week when we're not on here streaming.
Absolutely, guys. So we're going to spread a little bit of love. Stick around for the raid. Jump into this next channel with us here. Throw down some love. Let them know that the Power Hour of Love sent you. Say hello to a new friend out there who I know you guys are going to enjoy, because as we're sitting here looking up our IMDb channel, right, we are going to go and raid someone who actually has their own IMDb page, right? Luminaria Rain, who is an actress out there in Hollywood right now, has been in films like Alita Battle Angel, and is here streaming and hanging out on Twitch with all of us beautiful people. Right now, she's rocking some Borderlands, which sounds like a super ton of fun. So what do you say we head over there, spread some love, and we'll catch you guys next time at the Power Hour of Love. Again, I want to say thank you to everybody who supported the charity the last 2 weeks for Aur3llia's campaign for the mini gamers for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. It was absolutely amazing to push that over the $300 goal and to spend so much time having fun with all of you beautiful people. I hope we can continue to do that in the days to come. We'll see you guys soon.
Yeah.